Hello everyone, I'm Rabbi Chaitovsky, and welcome to another video dvar here at BMH-BJ. This week's Torah portion is a Torah portion of Noach, and everyone knows that Noach is the sole survivor, together with his family, of course, for the great flood that God brought to the world. And in introducing Noach to us, the Torah portion lets us know that he was a righteous person. It says, Noach ish tzaddik, tamim haya b'dorotav, complete and wholehearted, or perfect, in his generation. And immediately, Rashi points out that some of our early rabbinic commentators looked at that phrase, tamim haya b'dorotav, righteous in his generations, with mixed feelings. Some said that Noach was only righteous in comparison to his generation. But had he lived in the generation of Abraham, for example, he might not have measured up so well. And others, Rashi said, treated as a compliment that he was able to overcome the peer pressure and the temptations of his own generation with no other role models to follow. Imagine if he had lived in the days of Abraham, he would have been even greater. Well, either way you look at it, Noach's righteousness, his status of tzaddik, seems to come with a bit of a rabbinic reservation or a bit of a qualification. And I never liked that. I have to be honest. The Torah tells us he was a tzaddik, and I think we should go with that, especially for some of our youngest Torah students, as well as more mature Torah students. The Torah says he's righteous, he's righteous. And in looking at something that I really never looked at before, I found support for my feeling about Noach, that he really was righteous. And it goes back to the end of the Torah portion of Reshit, all of the genealogical psukim, the begats is what they're sometimes called, that just gives us the list of who gave birth to whom and who married whom. And it says that there was someone named Chanoch, or sometimes in English called Enoch. And it says, Vayechi Chanoch chamesh v'shishim shana, vayoled et Metushalach. Chanoch lived about 65 years, and at age 65 he had the famous Methuselah, Metushalach. And before going on about Metushalach, it tells us that V'yitalech Chanoch et Elohim, that Chanoch walked with God. And that's actually exactly what we are told about Noach. Et ha'Elohim hitalech Noach. Noach walked with God. So even before Noach, there seems to be someone who's doing the right thing and walking with God. And then it says, Vayihi kol yemei Chanoch chamesh v'shishim shana ushlosh me'ot shana. And Enoch's lifespan was 365 years. And that's a long time. Noach was already 500 at the time we encounter him at the beginning of our Torah portion. But then, very strange, it reminds us again, V'yitalech Chanoch et Elohim, that Chanoch walked with God. And then it says, Ve'einenu, and he was no more. Disappeared. Ki lakach oto Elohim, because God took him. What does that mean? What do you mean God took him? Why did God take him? Where did God take him? And Rashi immediately helps us out with something very interesting. It says, V'yitalech Chanoch, Enoch walked, Tzaddik haya, he was a righteous man. but a little less convicted than we might otherwise think. And it says, Lashuv laharshia. There was a suspicion that he was a little shaky about his own convictions, and he might regress to doing evil. He might be influenced by all of the bad behavior around him. Lefichach miher HaKadosh Baruch Hu, therefore God, blessed be He, acted quickly. V'silko v'hemito kodem zmano, and He actually removed him from the world before his time, so that he could die a righteous person, uninfluenced by the people around him. Very interesting comment. God took him before his time. Noach apparently was not taken before his time. Noach was the person God chose. And Noach walked with God. And Noach lived in a time that was at least as bad, if not worse, than the time that Hanoch lived. And yet, God does not remove him from the world. Noach was not suspected of falling prey to the peer pressure and the temptations around him. He was strong enough in his convictions to rise above and to be the chosen one of God, to help not just survive, but to help repopulate the earth afterwards. So this rabbinic conversation that tries to qualify Noach's righteousness is secondary to me. In comparison to those that came before him, Noach surely rises to the top, strong in his convictions, committed to carry out God's command, as incredulous as it sounded. And Noach goes down in our history with his own Torah portion, and he's one of the only people in the Torah, other than Joseph, who actually earns the label tzaddik. His righteousness was, in my opinion, complete. Before I wish you a Shabbat Shalom, I just want to remind everyone of two things that are happening at our synagogue. One, this week, we are paying tribute and showing our support for breast and ovarian cancer awareness, and for those who are either suffering from it, who have survived it, and those who have supported those going through it as family members. And we invite everyone to come to the synagogue dressed in something pink or something teal to hear words of inspiration and support from various speakers in the congregation. And next week we have our very special Tikvat Avraham, Hope of Abraham Shabbat, with Rabbi Hanan Schlesinger and Ali Abu Awad, the co-founders of Roots, Shorashim, and Judur, a peace think tank and a grassroots organization. And we are going to have a rabbi and a Palestinian talking to us about peace in our homeland, the land of Israel. Shabbat Shalom. We'll see you in Shul.